what's good a solution if it cannot even solve a problem in your backyard?
Hey!
Hi. Hello.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the EGS Student Podcast, where we engage about our experiences and educate ourselves in the field of environmental and geographical sciences.
Today, we have quite a very special guest. He is an academic, is a researcher and a lecturer at the University of Nottingham Malaysia in the field of environmental and geographical sciences. Please welcome Dr. Siva.
Sivathass Bannir.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so before we start, Dr. Siva, would you like to introduce yourself?
So I'm Siva. So I've been in UNM since 2018, and EGS has been my starting point where I exactly started to teach about things that I actually learned during my undergraduate days.
You graduated with a PhD in UTM,
Yep.
University of Technology Malaysia, in 2017,
Yep.
and then in 2018 you jumped right into UNM. Would you like to say more about that?
I can definitely explain from the day when I started from your stage. So my undergraduate study is on marine biology. So I did my marine biology in University Malaysia Terengganu.
Oh, okay.
So I get to stay in Terengganu for 3 years. So that's where I started my academic journey as a marine biologist. And after that, I did my master's in marine science in UKM. After a short break, I started with my PhD in UTM. So the thing is, until my master's, my studies were more related to environmental science, which is on the marine side. But then when I went for my PhD, it's a hybrid situation whereby I have to also apply knowledge that I gained from environmental science. And the topic that I pursued for my PhD in UTM is more on engineering. So what I was working on was to look for a solution to treat landfill leachate, the liquid portion that comes out from landfills. For the young ones, it's not a big issue because we can treat it organically, biologically, using aerobic or anaerobic processes. But for the mature leachate, since it's no more organic or less organic portion left, we have to find a solution for it. So in countries that has landfills, this is a huge problem to deal with the leachates, especially in tropical regions because we have frequent downpours, rains, so it forms more leachate. So it's a problem that you need to solve quickly. After that, I started some postdoc work in UTM temporarily, and then like what you said, okay, like what you have talked about me.
No.
Actually, I started my teaching in UNM in 2017 alone. That is something that you couldn't find in India. As a temporary lecturer, then I got the job, started permanently from 2018 January in UNM. Technically, my expertise or my interest has always aligned towards pollution and remediation, even from the undergraduate days, because my FYP topic was on tar ball pollution. That's an indication of how much oil pollution that we have.
Honestly, it's kind of fun for me and kind of funny for me to sit beside you because you are a lecturer and you still,
Yeah.
when you talk, you sound like a lecturer, even when you even when you say like the most basic stuff. I'm like, I'm
It's
like
like
in
the
a
voice
class
of
with Dr.
Russia,
Siva.
right?
All of us are in a class with Dr.
I
Siva
get
right
that a
now.
lot because in the even now when I go somewhere, like we used to have a subway on our campus. Do you know that? So when I go to buy anything there, they will ask like, "Are you a student?" Because that's the first thing. They
Uh-huh.
they would have a hard time to believe that I'm a staff or
Oh.
an academician. So I don't know why.
Maybe you still look young.
Maybe
You
maybe
blend in with us.
the looks only, yeah, the looks only.
Uh,
Okay, so that is for your past research, and the year threes were in a class with you the other day in
Yeah, I
Monday,
think
and
we
you
can-
did talk about your current research and how you trying to use the what's it called, the oxidation thing.
Oh,
I
the
forgot.
advanced
Yeah,
oxidation process.
advanced
Okay. We are part of a research group called Emerging Contaminants and Environment Health. So initially, it started off as just a casual chat between three academicians. So that is me, Prof. Chris, and Prof. Kangni from the School of Pharmacy. So all of us had that common goal or problem to address, which is microplastics. So Prof.
Okay.
Kangni went for a vacation in a very remote island in Malaysia. She found out that even in the remote location, there are a lot of plastic pollution happening in the coastal area.
Okay.
So when she came back, she wanted to have a chat with Prof. Chris, like, is there something you can do about it? Like if
Alright.
it is already there in remote islands, what about urban areas? It should be much worse, right? And then that's when Prof. Chris said it is, yes, it is worse, and it is going to the extent of microplastic pollution. At that time when we started this, I think around 2019, that's when we started this conversation. So Prof. Chris said that we have a guy in our department who works on pollution and remediation. Probably we
Mhm.
should also add him to the conversation. So the three of us met. So a casual chat turned into a project that we want to co-supervise a student. So that's how we got Chen Ling, your senior, who's from
Mhm.
environmental science. She's our first PhD student, and I would say one of the most successful students. She was the winner of 3-minute thesis, not only in campus, not only in Tricampus, so which means she's the representative of all Nottingham
Yeah.
to U21 till 3-minute thesis. And
Whoa.
the second one to achieve that on campus was also from our research group. Recently, you know Maryam, Ungku Maryam. So she was the second one to do the same thing again. So we are really proud of that. For a long time, we have already have seen what microplastics can do to the environment and health. But then for at one point of time, we stopped and we thought that why not we try to solve this issue. So
Mm.
that's when we came up with different, like exploring different ways of solving the problem. So one of the first one is the project that I went to Jakarta for, which is about filter to filter out microfibers from households, because microplastics are coming from single-use plastics, but that's not the reality. So from our finding, found out that almost 60 to 70% of microplastics that we find in the environment are actually microfibers, which means it's coming from our clothing, from washing machines. Often that we think, if I recycle a single-use plastic, I've already fulfilled my commitment as part of a well-mannered member of society. But in reality, the problem doesn't stop there. For the filter, we are trying to file a patent. And if you want to watch the video of what I presented, you can go to the YouTube channel. I can share the link later. There, they invited 60 brilliant minds from Southeast Asia. In Malaysia, we are one out of six, I think.
Oh, everyone clap. Congratulations. That's something to be very
Yeah,
proud of.
so everybody was given 4 minutes to present their project. It's like pitch to the investor to get potential investor to invest in it. And the second one, which is what Darin mentioned just now about advanced oxidation processes. So this is also another way we wanted to look at, can we use advanced oxidation processes to break down microplastics? Early stage or preliminary study shows that we can break down microfibers or
Okay.
microplastics using advanced oxidation processes, but then further research is needed. And then there's also another researcher, maybe some of you already know about Dr. Kenny. He is working on a method to see if microbes can consume microplastics or not.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is still work in progress, so I can't say much about it yet. Prof. Kangni and Dr. Kenny, they tried to use, mealworms.
Okay,
That
yeah.
happened exactly at the same time when it became viral throughout the world. They started it. I feel like they started earlier, even before others started. But then, since the result is not very promising, they didn't publish it lah. They didn't reveal it.
Okay.
But then when I find out, like after 3 months, the whole world is like trying to talk about using mealworm to overcome plastic problem.
Yeah.
That doesn't solve the problem, just to be sure. It doesn't solve the problem. The mealworms do consume polystyrene, but then they still poop out polystyrene. So it just turns macroplastics
Into
into
more
microplastics.
micro.
Yeah.
Remember in 2022 when you were in a STEM
Oh yeah, I
program?
remember you, Sajida, and who else coming to meet?
Cash,
Cash, yes.
Yeah, so that was that you were just a lone ranger in a booth with like a laptop and a picture of microplastics talking about. I remember that was the first time. That was my first impression of you, by the way. My first impression of you just talking about microplastics and washing machines, and I was like, oh, this lecturer is really like passionate about just microplastics. So was that like your initiatives towards the general public to like educate them? Because you did break it down to us like we were like 5-year-olds at that time.
Because they were 5 years old,
Yeah.
anyway, so we have to be like standard.
Yeah. From you, Ethan, do you have anything from the year one's perspective?
We met Dr.Siva for like, I don't think more than 5 times. Did we?
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
first is of course in Podington, right?
Yeah. Where you show us like the corals
Yeah,
and everything
probably the intro briefing
Yeah.
in the classroom, and then
during tutorials. Then we did meet up for you with a group project on microplastic also.
yeah,
Like my group, like Chen was there, we got the opportunity to like join in the workshop that you had with the TTS community, which is quite interesting actually.
Yeah, so about the TTS community, it has been an ongoing commitment for at least 1.5 year now. So that's when we started to like
Uh,
what's good a solution if it cannot even solve a problem in your backyard. So that's our initiative. That's why we wanted to engage with TTS community and start to talk to them and the problem that they may face or they already have, what kind of solution we can propose to them. So that's the basic idea of it, to start the solution from your own backyard before solving the world's great problem. Yeah.
Voice words from Dr.
Wise words
Siva.
from Dr. Siva.
Now that we know a bit more about Dr. Siva, now why don't we play two truths, one lie?
I'm bad at this.
We're gonna guess, then the people behind the camera we're gonna guess together.
Maybe I give you some tips to
This-
detect lie.
Okay.
When
Oh.
somebody lies, they will go into the details and tell you a lot of stuff. Okay, just to make sure you trust it. Number 2, body language, eye contact. Okay,
Yeah.
so look at that.
I feel like this will throw us off. I feel like you do the
Yeah.
exact opposite of what you're saying.
Let's see.
Just so you could win.
Let's see. Okay,
Okay.
let me start with my first statement. My research work has been featured in an Emmy Award winning documentary that was nominated together with other documentaries from CNN, National Geographic, and WISE. I'm a marine biologist and I do recreational diving in my free time. When I'm feeling down and need motivation, I draw inspiration from anime characters.
It sounds kind of
I know, Dr. Siva, you play Dota, right?
How you know?
Whoa.
Oh, the lore.
Yeah, I
To
think
match up with Dr.
I think you mentioned it once or something. So maybe it's true, like the anime thing. We think so.
Second.
The second
we
one
think
is
so
a
too.
lie.
The first one you're so passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound
Yeah.
It's
so
like
legitimate.
if you lie about it, then it'll be like, oh, I did not achieve what I want to achieve, and I just want to
Yeah.
say stuff. Yeah, you wouldn't.
You guys are right.
Yeah.
Second one.
You get seasick. I was about to say in tier one. Can I ask a question about that? Like a follow-up question. Dr. Siva, why do you follow the tier one trip and then you go into boats knowing that you're seasick? It happens every year, by the way. why do I like, oh, the year twos are saying the same thing that the year threes are experiencing?
So you see, seasick is something that I couldn't overcome throughout my life.
Okay.
The funny part is I realized I am seasick when I was actually going for my first field trip for marine biology. That's when I realized I have this. Before that, I didn't know that I was seasick. So it's too late to give up already. Of Darin asking me like why I keep on go, even though I know I have seasickness. It's because it related to the third thing that I told you, third statement. So when you are down, fight against it. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Dr. Siva, can I ask, what anime do you channel the most? Like
Yeah,
anime
yeah.
character?
Naruto. I'm kidding.
Thank you.
We edit
Naruto.
that.
Naruto, of course. Obito is my favorite character. I always draw inspiration from Obito because I feel like he is the epitome of not giving up at the worst situation.
Shish.
I see.
Number 2, it's One Piece. I really like Sanji.
Okay.
1-0.
Right, second round.
Second round.
The first statement, I used to be a vegetarian for 7 years. Second statement, I have acrophobia, fear of height. Third statement, I'm a bookworm.
I feel like if you're in academia, you won't be a bookworm.
Yeah.
So you deal with like a lot of papers already.
But he could be it though. Like
True.
macam.
What if he used the time to read the books, to watch anime?
Wow, the way you guys analyze me. So, what's the vote?
What does the crowd think?
Second.
Second or third? So fear of heights or
Oh, book.
Okay, what did the host think? I feel like it's third.
Bookworm,
I
yeah.
feel like it's third too.
Yeah.
So, shall I reveal?
Yeah.
Yes?
So, the lie was I'm a bookworm. Okay. Looks
Do you
like I'm-
feel exposed? Everyone knows you.
maybe for the first set, yes.
Third round.
Third
Last one.
round. Okay, the first statement of the third round. I can play the guitar, but only one song.
Okay.
What song?
What song? Happy birthday to you. Okay.
Interesting.
I have one dog, 2 cats, 1 arowana fish, and 20 guppies as pets at home.
20 what? Sorry?
Guppy fishes.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Statement 3.
Okay.
I have lived in a mangrove forest for 4 months.
The second one is a truth, maybe. Because he did mention he has animals, right? He did mention he has pets. Don't he?
20 guppies.
20 seems a bit much though. Wait.
Yeah, maybe
A lot.
How about host?
Okay, I feel like it's one.
one guitar.
It will make sense.
Guitar?
Yeah.
I think I'll go for
One,
one with you
one.
guys.
Okay.
Okay, these guys are right.
Oh!
So the lie is I can play the guitar. Actually, I have a guitar at home,
Okay.
which I have been inspired to learn how to play for a very long time. And I actually learned a bit, but I can't play a song. So no. That to be funny, so that is related to the third statement I made. I've lived in mangrove forest for 4 months. So that's where I met the staff of the park. So the only entertainment you have over there is
A
guitar.
guitar.
Oh.
So he tried to teach me to play a song at least. So he started off with the Indonesian song. So the song is called, I don't exactly remember the title, but it starts with the word fikiranku. So the whole thing goes like fikiranku tak dapat ku mengerti.
Hey!
Yeah, that's the thing.
Hey!
That's the thing.
So the host won all 3 rounds.
Wow.
Now we're gonna go back to the podcast.
So, Dr. Siva, you did tell us about your work at UNM and your work in general. But essentially, the people want to know, how actually did you land up here? Like, what was your life journey?
Career path.
Yeah.
Specific. I've done many kind of different jobs before. Right after my SPM, I've been a cashier,
Wow.
waiter in a restaurant. So that's the first proper job I had when I was 17. But my focus has always been on teaching. I don't know why. I mean, nobody guided me except my family. We have like around 5 or 6 teachers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For 6
And
teachers.
even when I was young,
Wow.
the only thing I had in my mind was the last thing I want to be is a teacher. Okay? But look at me. Where I am. I have tried to stay away from teaching, but then at one point of time, I got an opportunity to teach when I was, if I'm not wrong, I was 18. So that was my first proper teaching job. I taught primary school students as a temporary homeroom teacher. So the first subject I taught them was moral, and then Tamil language.
Tamil. Okay, that's interesting.
So that's where I realized that teaching is not a bad career pathway like how I used to think about it. It's actually a very interesting career because you are able to change people's perception, mentality. You would be able to share what you know and make them either equal to your knowledge level or at least learn something from what you say. So from there, I think I went for my undergraduate studies. So after my degree, I started working in a environmental consultancy company, which actually writes EIA reports and environmental quality report. So we were actually reviewing a site to be turned into aquaculture farm. But I feel like it's not fulfilling for me. I'm doing something against what I'm supposed to do because the reports are just mere papers to justify what they were doing to the environment, but in reality, they were destroying it.
I see.
Yeah, there were endemic tree species, endemic fish species. You wouldn't believe when I say I've seen more colorful guppies in the wild compared to the one I have at my home. Okay, so when I see things like this happen, and also I didn't have a good rapport with the employer because clash of opinions. So I quit that job and back to what I know the best, which is teaching. So I was teaching in tuitions while pursuing my master's in UKM.
Okay.
So again, teaching was there, like it's in the background. It never went away.
Okay.
So right after I'm done with my master's, I started teaching in a college for foundation students, especially in chemistry. And then once I get to know that UTM has this PhD opportunity, so I applied for it, and that's how I'm here now. So I did some postdoc there after my PhD, and after that I came into UNM.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. Like, usually when in the field of environmental science, if you really, really do well in undergraduate, people usually jump straight to PhD. So why did you take your master's first?
To be doing that, you need to be a first class student. So that's the history why I didn't achieve first class. I don't know whether I can say this on camera.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
That's fine.
That's why I said,
Let
like,
this
when you
be
do
a
well-
learning lesson to everybody
do well
so
in
that they won't
undergraduate.
repeat the mistake that I've made. So yes, so first class students, you have the privilege to start with PhD straight. It's called fast track PhD in government universities.
Mhm.
At that time, my pointer was just like few points away from, like 0. few points away from first class.
Oh.
That is because of my own mistake. I don't want to mention the name of the module or anything. I felt like I know everything about the module, which is yes, it's not false. I know everything about it.
Mhm.
I never attended the classes, but I never attended the classes, so I was not a good student anyway. I was a bad student, a backbencher. So I never attended the classes because I thought I already know the subject. But then I had a meeting, this intervention meeting with the lecturer. Why you didn't attend the class? So I told her like, I think I know everything.
Oh.
Yeah, I was arrogant.
Okay.
So I feel like even without attending your lectures, I can still score a good mark. And then she came back with a reply like this: okay, I understand you are good, but then attending a lecture and going to a class is not only you becoming good and scoring good marks. It is about you spending time, committing your time to your work as well. So that's commitment. That's how working life will work later on. So that actually hit me very hard when I actually go for my job. She asked back to me like, can I give you A for this versus someone who attended all the class, scored A, and you didn't attend the class? Do you deserve the A or not? So at that moment, I felt like it is something wrong. I said that no, I don't deserve the A. So I didn't get the A. And just because of that one module, I didn't get first class. Yes, I might have started my PhD earlier and may have been a lecturer. I don't know. My life path may have taken a different turn. I feel like I would have still been in academia, regardless that A or B I got for that module. Yeah, because I had few other opportunities coming in between. Like I had a temporary diversion where I had a chance while I was doing PhD. I went for a government interview for the job called it's in the fishery department, so I don't remember the post exactly. They say that we can take you in directly, no problem, but then you have to leave your PhD. By that time, I had to make a decision that I can't do that. And then another time, an opportunity came for Pegawai Tadbir Diplomatic.
Wow.
So you'll be working in embassies and with ambassadors, so things like that. So I didn't go for that as well because I felt like my PhD is more valuable and it will be more rewarding if I wait in the end.
Okay. Do you want to talk more about like the modules that you are directly teaching, like the Tillman one, TWSS, EPR, stuff like that? When you teach the students, what do you essentially like want them to like go back home and then, take out?
As a module convener or a lecturer that teaches a subject, regardless whether it's year 2 or year 3, what I really want is not necessarily all of you have to get A for it. Maybe that is what your intention when you attend a module. But my intention is, if I made you, after you go home after the class, if I made you at least to think about it 1 minute, whatever message that I'm trying to convey, at least you took a minute out of your life to think about it again, I already won about it. That's my big win.
I just wanted to ask, like, the one when you said that you didn't attend classes, what will you do if your students now do that to you? They say like, oh, Dr. Siva, I know a lot about like,
Your module.
environmental pollution and remediation.
Yeah.
I don't need to attend these classes, Dr. Siva.
I accept my karma. I
Oh, so
accept
he
my karma,
it
but then
hasn't hit you yet.
still,
Okay.
we have to follow rules and regulations,
Mhm.
right? Even though I accept my karma, I still have to go by the rules.
Okay, looking towards your future now.
Yeah.
Our question is, do you still, I mean,
Do you want to continue working
I feel like
on
he does. We know that you're really
other-
passionate about like, microplastics
Yeah.
and stuff. And also,
Okay.
like, we didn't mention this, but wastewater treatment as well.
To be honest,
Yeah.
microplastic is just the tip of iceberg. If you come to pollution, there are much more serious problems that we have to look at and we need solution for. But at the moment, it's microplastic. If you go back 10 years back, it could be pharmaceuticals. You go back further 10 years, it could be something different. So It's like a list of problems that you have to solve, but microplastic is at the top of the priority list. It doesn't mean that microplastic is the only important problem that we need to solve.
Okay.
There are other important problems that we need to give equal attention to, but at the moment it's microplastic. So
I see.
to answer your question, in future, any other different issues that arises, then we will try to solve them.
If you look back, was there a change in direction in terms of your career up to now as a researcher, lecturer, and academic? Was this like what is your intended destination?
I mean, if I look back in my life from the beginning itself, my first ambition was to become a fireman.
Oh,
Firefighter. And the second year, like 1 year after, I want to become a policeman.
Oh.
And then doctor. So it keeps on. For me, some people, they are very clear from day one itself, like what they
Yeah.
want to do. But for me, the interest always changed because I learn about new things as I grow up, and then I look at people, I hear stories. At one point, like when I was in secondary school, I was so sure I'm going to become an astrophysicist. Okay, until I knew about marine biology. So the thing that changed my perception was we knew far less about our own oceans compared to the space.
Yep.
So which is why I actually thought that marine biology is the one that I should pursue compared to astrophysics.
Okay, interesting.
So you're more like to go out and explore kind of person.
Yep. Even though I have seasickness.
Okay, yeah. So that's interesting. So I guess that's the end
Yeah, I
of
guess
our
that's it.
podcast. Thank you, Dr.
you
Siva.
for
Everyone
tuning in.
clap. Do you have any other
Questions?
last words towards the camera,
Yeah.
towards the viewers?
This is last word only for this session, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you know? Wait. That's only for the session.
So I'm sure those who are watching, you may have some interest in environmental science. Otherwise, you wouldn't have tuned into this video or even this page or this podcast. So what I would like to say is pursue your goal. Don't give up. Okay? Especially when life throws you lemon, you make lemon juice, lemon cake, whatever you can do with it. Okay? And just to be honest with you, in the beginning, it may not be so rewarding, but then towards the end, it will give you the reward. If you're honest in what you're doing, it will definitely give you the rewards in the form that you won't even expect. Just be honest in what you do.
Okay.
True to yourself, true to others. You will be there. You will be there at the position where you always wanted to be.
Thank you for the wise words, Dr. Siva. All right, everyone. So thank you for tuning in. And that's all we have for today's episode. Remember to follow EGS
On Instagram, then watch
YouTube,
and
and
Spotify.
Spotify for more episodes. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wait, it just says now we're gonna blah blah blah, and then we go back to the podcast.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna go
Back to the
podcast.
Oh no, wrong.